What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about why Alan Wake 2 is not releasing physically. We got some more info from Summer Game Fest. There's actually a couple interviews being done. This has been floating around this morning, and I do think it's pretty bad. I think the reception is also pretty bad to this thing as well. I guess in a good way. Like, people are mad, and I think they're rightfully mad. Look, I want to kind of make sure this is said. I'm a massive Alan Wake fan. I love the first game. Second game, this game that's coming out this fall, I honestly think could be one of, if not the best games of the entire fall, which means Spider-Man, Starfield, Assassin's Creed, these kind of games. I think Alan Wake can easily be just as good, if not better than them. I truly do believe that. But this physical digital thing has honestly been a mess. It's been a mess ever since it was announced, and this doesn't, in my opinion, make it any better. So remember, a little while back, they announced that the game is not going to release physically. It's only going to release digitally. And the main reason they said on their site in the FAQs was to keep the prices down. They said, by doing this, it was basically two things. One was keeping the prices down. They can charge $60 on console, so when you go to the store, it's $60 instead of $70, and then on PC, it's actually $50. So, okay, not bad, not the worst thing in the world. You're charging a little bit less. And then the other reason is they said, well, some of these consoles, in fact, half of them, you don't actually have to buy them with discs, right? You can buy kind of the digital-only versions of them. So, all right, you got those reasons, and I didn't like those reasons generally because I do believe in game preservation and that this is a really bad sign and a really bad trend to go down. You obviously have like the Starfields of the world, the God of Wars and Spider-Mans of the world that are doing everything. When you do the collector's edition, they come with the box, the steel case or whatever, and there's no disc in there. Instead, it's just a digital code. So we've seen this stuff, but Alan Wake is one of the first, or it is the first, really big releases that are just fully skipping out on doing physical. And you even had like third-party, disc making sites kind of come in and say, hey, you want help? Like, we can do it for you. And I think that is the future. I saw a tweet on Twitter a little while ago that talks about, is this basically the new vinyl, where you buy it digitally first, it comes out digitally first, and then vinyls kind of come afterwards, right? And I think that's exactly how it's going to start to go for games. You're going to be able to buy digitally, and then there'll be third-party sites like Limited Run or whatever, and they'll do discs, and you can buy it through them 2, 3, 4 months down the line. I think that's how it's going. But the issue is all of the negatives of digital only. That's the main negative, and there's plenty of negatives in there. But today, that was all in the past. Today, we got the interview that talked about more reasons, I guess, why. And now the number one reason is not the price. The number one reason is now for polish. So they talk about how by putting it on digital, they allow themselves several extra weeks to work on polish for the game, whereas if you did discs, you wouldn't be able to do that. Then they also ended it by talking about downloading and saying, well, we don't want to give you a disc where you still have to kind of download the game, download some of the game onto it. They don't want to do it. Now, like, that makes me think of the Metal Gear collection, say for Switch, right? That's a big one that's made people mad, where you get the cartridge, you get the disc, or whatever it's called, and then it doesn't actually have the stuff really on it. It's got very little on it. You put it in, and you download pretty much everything else. So it's like, why even have the thing in the first place? The issue is, so you don't want to give us a disc so that we have to download stuff. Instead, you want us to download the entire thing. Like, does that make sense? And the polish thing is very, very scary, because if you're using this as an excuse to have more polish time, that is that immediately comes off bad to me. Saying, well, this gives us a few extra weeks of polish. Okay, delay the game then. Delay the game, because it sounds like, just even saying that out loud, it sounds like you're going to be in some sort of crunch or rush to get the game out when you said, which is October 17th, I believe. Now, look, that's right before Halloween. They probably picked it very specifically. Now, it's going to be a lot of competition in October. There's games before Alan Wake. There's games after Alan Wake. I'm not saying to move it. I'm going to be getting it. It's a priority, even though Spider-Man comes out 3 days after it. This is a priority for me to play and beat in October, day one. That's what I want, because I love this franchise and I want to see this game succeed. But the way you're talking, and if that's the number one reason for it being digital now, just delay it. Delay it till November. You know, November is a lot more dead. It's not fully dead, but it's a lot more dead than October, okay? So if you need more time to get the thing out on a disc, then just delay it till November, and then there, you got your extra polish time. And then, yeah, you could say the whole, well, we don't want to do the disc, and then you have to download some of it. I mean, like, Nintendo and Konami are doing it. Why not you? And ultimately, what, you don't like the downloading part? Like, that, to me, it doesn't make sense. Why would you be so against, well, you know, we don't want to give a disc, but not everything is on the disc. So you would prefer to not have a disc and everything to just be off a disc, which we've talked about the negatives of that, right? Diablo 4 is seeing the negatives of that with the DDoS, attacks that are like destroying, crippling the game right now. Games that are always online or games that just need you to download the full thing. Not a guarantee. Not a guarantee. You can take the game down at any time. Could get hacked. Your account could get hacked. You could lose it. I mean, all sorts of things. You're at the mercy of the store. You're at the mercy of the publisher that can just take the game away from you. You have the game when you have it on disc. So, I mean, I guess I would say the one counterattack to me is, well, the whole disc thing, but then most of the game isn't on the disc. It's somewhere else. That doesn't help the preservation thing because, you think 10, 20 years down the line saying, well, I have the disc. Well, yeah, you have a disc, but most of the game is not even on the disc, so you don't really have the game still. So, yeah, I would say give us the full game on the disc or don't do it at all. I guess the end result is basically the same. I just don't like to see the trend, and I'm going to continue to talk about it. It's something I'm passionate about, and just the way they're talking about it, again, like, this isn't good. In fact, just stick to the game because the game itself looks incredible. Everything we've heard about the game, it sounds incredible. Okay, everything has that I word, incredible, in it, but everything outside of it, when you're talking about this stuff, no, it just hurts. I think it hurts the game, and I've seen so much backlash, so much. I mean, like, the tweets that are reporting this are getting a lot of engagement in terms of people saying, I'm just not buying it, or, like, this is a big L, or, whatever. But there's a lot of people saying they're not getting it. A lot of these accounts are not getting, like, ratioed, but they're getting a lot of comments just for simply reporting it. That's not even Remedy. That's just, like, news accounts that are talking about it. So I think people do care. Are these people, like, making it up? Like, would they have bought the game anyway, right? So, like, if they weren't going to get the game, and they say, well, I'm not getting the game now. Well, they're just lying for clout and stuff, which does happen online. So that could easily be happening, but you don't know. This could actually affect the game. This could stop. Now, how much? Could this stop 10,000 people from buying it? Could this stop 100,000 people, 1 million? We don't know the exact number, but it's definitely something that is upset. And even though I'm getting it, I'm going to be one of the people that do buy it. I'm not happy at all with this entire situation. So there you go. Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure you're subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.